So hi and welcome. So this is Bambi here, and today we'll just be talking about Lopit, how to do some basic facial tracking, how to set up proper green screen without any of the blurs, how to set up like facial expressions, and how to download actual software itself. When downloading software though and try to make the payment, I often get a lot of declines. It's like, oh my god, you're fake, and like they don't trust me or something. Like they think I'm a bot or something like that. So this is a basic tutorial on how to deal with all those issues, how to successfully download the software, and just get some basic needs going to start live streaming or just video recording if able to actually get rid of the background itself properly inside the video. So if you search out Lopit inside Google, the first result should just give you the actual proper website itself. Simply click on that. There's the basic tabs on top to bring you to different sections of this page. So you have about Lopit, features, and price of that. You'll all find down inside the actual page itself without needing to click on any of these. So the features we talk about VRM support, some basic greeneries. Apparently there's some really green powers over there, and some leap motion tracking. So moving down a little bit, you have the more important stuff like the personal licensing, the pro licensing, or the enterprise licensing, which is for ultras, man. For most people though, for like Twitch streamers, like YouTubers and stuff like that, just do some personal stuff. The personal licensing should do fine. But if you're working in corporations, you might just want the pro version instead. So the personal version costs about $6,000 Japanese dollars. So that's about maybe $70 in Australian dollars and maybe 50 something dollars in US, I think. But price in the United States is a bit wonky because of COVID and everything. After clicking on the actual amount here, the blue link on the side, it should just bring you into a page that looks something like this. And what this leads you into is actually a purchase of the actual licensing itself. Not the software, but just an activation licensing by itself. But to get the actual software, you do actually need to do a different download. And what I want to do is duplicate a tab and search up Lopit. Set a search, and that will bring you into one of these ones, which costs $0. So what this allows you to do is to download the actual software itself alongside a trial. So the trial will include a watermark in front of everything, which is not exactly what you want to do. So if you don't want a watermark, just get the actual license. But if you're okay with the watermark and just want to try things out, this is basically all you need, really. And after clicking the free download, it will ask you to sign into account or to sign up to account. Since I already have an account, I'm just going to say sign in. But the process should be pretty similar on both of them, and let's say login. Yep, and after a bit, this will return you back to this interface, and you say free download. Click that again, and that should just say okay, and that will just start downloading everything, and it will go to download wherever you choose. Let's go back to this window and talk about purchasing the actual licensing or activation of the program. Simply say add to cart. If you're seeing the screen, that probably just means your account has registered, and the page they will show you before you register the account probably just not there anymore. What you simply want to do to avoid that error or just get into that error again is simply revert back to this page and simply click on top and just say enter. Just refresh everything, and that will just load in back your registration stuff as well. So everything is registered and that has updated into the website, so they actually know. So simply add to cart and then simply go checkout. And at this point, you either ask for a password identification or you just let you pass right through into the actual payment section. Into payment type, they should give you about 3 or more options. PayPal, credit card, 2 main ones you probably be looking into. Credit card, I believe for this specific software is regional, so these, unless you're in Japan, I don't think actually works fine. So as someone that lives in Australia, I tried 2 different credit cards, and both from this company, and it doesn't really work that well. It will decline me and say you're a bot and just lock my account. So I have 2 accounts now, so Anthony is the one I tried it on. So yeah, credit card, if I ever try to use the same credit card again, it will just lock me out. So try if you ever had an issue where they try to lock you out and say payment not accepted or something like that, then simply try logging into a PayPal account and simply applying buying by PayPal. After identification and like confirmation though, it should just give you a simple product number, and you can just use that. So after unzipping everything, is installing the first packaging, which we download for free. You just open it up, and that should give you interface prior to this to asking for email information and also password information. So the email and password just referencing the Booth website, the account which you sign up for, and yeah, and then input that in correctly, and that will give you into something that looks like this. With a little bit difference though, your license activation should look a little bit like this, so it actually like has a full green to it. That just means that everything is still on trial and just need to click on that button to put in your product number to activate it, and they'll grade up like this again. If you have issues like finding Lupit itself, like if I try to search up Lupit inside Windows, it would not really show up at all. It would show up like maybe a file or something like that, but that ain't really used to show up. A website I like to use, or software I like to use to do search of stuff, is called Everything. The software called Everything, I know it's a bit confusing. It's literally a search engine to search through the entire PC and just find the information that matches the word above. So you can see Lupit.exe is right there, and yeah, for any other software like Marvelous Designer or any other file, it's very nice to have, and it's really fast to search through things as well. So after that though, opening everything up and filling up email, it will log into this interface. So over here you have the logout for 4 buttons: the logout, license activation, which should grey out after putting in the product key, also expression keys and system settings. So expression keys is like if you click on one of these characters, click on the character, and you have to see all the expressions, the shape keys that comes along the character. You can set which keys trigger which expressions. So like the fun expression for this character right now is expressed by D, and the joy is by F2. And let's go to system before heading back there again, and you can set the refresh rate, so the frame rate for which this runs, window size, so we can go up to 1910, just go apply settings, so that change the size, and you have the graphical level. By default I believe it's level 1 medium. You can set to ultra because why not, it's not that heavy of a program, so she will find any languaging for which you like. So let's start with this model and let's look back at this expression key again. So you're angry, F6, and also D, fun is D. So choose the camera first thing, and then without camera it will not allow you to start with the model. So select the camera first, and we can start with the model. So you can see if I tilt my head in here, you can see everything reacting together. And if I hit escape inside my keyboard, it will just enlarge everything. If I hit escape again, it will decrease and enlarge. If I hit D right now, you can see it changing the facial expressions. I hit F5, changing everything again, and F6, changing to this cute expression. I can see as I'm talking inside a microphone, which is connected to this device. You can see the mouth moving as I move, and as the top of the facial key. So let's hit escape one more time. Just click into the screen, and you can just go back to character selection to select a different character model. Let's do that. So let's say you want to choose a different character model besides this one, which is a VIM file. To choose a different character file, just simply say open folder. And unlike most programs, which simply allows you to open a file at all the locations inside a PC, so you can just click a file and say open this file up for me. Yeah, Lupit works things a bit differently. So the file folder is owned up. This folder right here is connected to Lupit. So everything you put into this folder, Lupit will actually load it up. So if you have a VIM file that you created yourself or something that you downloaded, just drag it into the folder themselves. For me though, I have my VIM files inside this area. Let's say V10-ish, and I'm just gonna drag it into this folder selection over here, and I'll just duplicate it here. Give it a moment, and you will see it load up over here, and this is my character. Give it a moment to load. It's quite small, honestly, and it's above ground. Honestly though, this character is usually above ground, doesn't really cause so much issue. It's when the character is into the ground itself that causes issues. I tried this model inside a VDraw, I tried this model inside a VSeeFace. They all work fine. So yeah, just because your character is above ground, it doesn't really cause so much issues. So selecting the character, you can see the expression keys change because of these ones that I always set up myself. So yeah, let's go in depth a bit more about expression keys. So the current, for neutral expression is currently F1 that triggers it. The joy expression is currently triggered by the D key. So if you just click here, this bar over here, click that, and what that allows you to do is to reselect a key to trigger the expression. So it could be a H. So if you go into play mode and just hit H, you play the joy expression. If you click here again, you need to change that to D. Change sorrow can be Y. F can be F5. Both. And surprise can be F3. Change those things around. And you can see right now there's a B, and there's a B over here for most of the expressions. So if you click on the B, it will change to a T, and if you hit T, it will change back to a B. And what this B does, what this B means is that when holding down this button, the chosen key button, it will show the expression angry. So in this case, if I hit down D, it will show the expression angry, and when you let go, it will just go revert back to a default that is neutral. And what T, by changing this to T, does is that when you hit the key, it will just remain this expression. So if I hit, like if I by default it's neutral, so if I'm just hit D for example and this is on T, if hit D that will stay angry, your character will actually show the expression angry until you hit D again to cancel the expression. So usually though I just like keeping on B, just holding down the key, the D key, in this case angry, it will just, the character will just show the expression, and when you let go it just lets go. So that's pretty neat. So, and you also see this also across over the eye for each one of these expressions. And when you have the eye cross, so like the eyelid cross, that means when you're showing these expressions, do not show blinking. So do not blink while facial expression is playing. And we also have this as well. So with a circle around it, that means blink while facial expression is playing. And also do not lip sync. Oh, lip sync while facial expression is playing. Also do not lip sync when facial expression is playing. So you can also toggle these off for different expressions as well. So depending on different expressions, you might want that. But I like keeping on default and keeping everything on B. So by holding down, it plays the expression, and when I let go, it doesn't. And just make sure you probably want to have this expression clicked as well. So if we check this, you can operate the expressions even when the application is in the background. So you don't need to have this application like Lappet in the foreground where you have to see and your mouse is clicking on it. So just make sure everywhere, just by your mouse having everywhere while gaming or whatever, you can hit the keys and we just change the expressions of your character. So that's very neat. For me though, I'm gonna change the angry to F5, and also surprise to maybe F6. Those are two notable expressions of my character. So you can exit that, and I'll just change everything, and just keep the changes. And yeah, let's start with this model, and let's say start with this. After choosing camera, of course, you always need a camera for this kind of stuff. And you can see my character is kind of small, so I need to use the middle mouse button to scroll inwards. So yeah, just use the middle mouse button to scroll inwards and outwards. And just by holding down the right mouse button, you're able to rotate around the character. So yeah, that's basic expression, I suppose. Middle mouse button, zoom. Right mouse button to just rotate around and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. And holding down the middle mouse button though, just allow you to pan a bit, pan from side to side. So yeah, that's neat. So yeah, the brightness over here, you can change the ambient lighting, how bright everything is, what the bloom is, what the exposure is. You know, we change that quite a bit. The background, we'll get into that later. Lighting, leap motion. If you have leap motion, you can choose where you put in leap motion. I do not have my leap motion; it is still in delivery. So let's go to webcam. You can just go calibrate it. Stare directly at your webcam or where you want to be your front, and say calibrate and hold for 5 seconds. Yep, and that will adjust the model. But try to wiggle around a bit if your character is a little bit off-centered. Moving down to character positioning, it will talk about the mouse stuff I was talking before. So yeah, if you forget what the mouse does, character positioning will tell you all about it. So let's talk about lip syncing. Here's where you choose the microphone that you can choose. For me, it's the M-USB mic. Also the camera, use how the mouth adjustments works. Is it weak? Is it strong? Corner mouth adjustments, how strong do you want the pronunciations to be? So just always change that. And over here, just show the current expression that has been set. And here, so you can just change the shoulders. You can drag the shoulders down. This character model is not perfect. You can see there's some weighting issues, and look closely in the cheek. There's also some issues as well. Though it's not really that notable right now. Going down here, you can go. I'm not sure what this does really. You go tracking by webcam or iFacial mockup. I believe that's iRay. If you have an iPhone, you can probably use this option by using your iPhone to capture your face instead of a webcam. But I use Android, so I don't have that. And more features like a snapshot every 10 seconds. This really doesn't matter all that much. Alright, let's finally get to the background section. So by default, it shows this green color inside the background. So you can kind of have the character right here, and right behind the character is just pure green. So you kind of just open folder. You can choose the image you want to put behind the background. So you can put like this folder, whatever. So you can have this me behind me, stuff like that. That's pretty nice. Or you can just choose like a completely transparent background. And what it allows you to do is to get a completely rid of background and put that inside OBS with nothing inside of it and just set a custom background. Or you can just clear the image and just set that to green and just use that as like the green screen for the character. But sometimes I find using the default green, I find it like it goes into the character bit. Sometimes it's hard to pick out the exact colors. So I don't know what reasons I find this a bit jittery. So But it's your choice though. If you want to film something just like this, it's to set up the position of the screen correctly, to just position yourself the view correctly and start filming this. You can just remove the background inside the video editor. That's completely fine, but sometimes I found that a bit difficult. So what I personally do is go to folders and load up a completely transparent image. So this is a PNG with absolutely no alpha. So this is a PNG with alpha emission which is at 0. So everything's transparent and you see the character looking straight in the UI, and when you go to this play mode or this full screen mode, you will see right past the character to appear black, giving us the detail that there's nothing there. And what I can usually do with this is to set up a game capture. And what you can usually do is to set up a game capture inside of OBS or something equivalent to that, and to set up an image behind it. So you go to game image right now, and you go capture a specific window, and I'm choosing, let's go to Love It, and say allow transparency, and say OK. Right there, and let's full screen that. And if we go back into OBS, you can just kind of see the character is showing up and stuff like that. And I just set this basic image behind it with a green or shade of green that I like. So I can just say add game capture or image. In this case, image. Double click that and just change the image whatever you like. Then you can choose this, or as before, I just like to choose a shade of green that I like, which I found is a lot easier and a lot cleaner to remove the color later and to make the character completely transparent inside the video or inside of a stream or something like that. Yeah, that's basically all I want to talk about. I hope everybody has a good day and it was helpful in some ways, and definitely play around the software to see how it feels or something like that.